far apart from one another and sort of far away from me. That's where I like to do comedy. It's my main goal. Hello, everyone! Hello! Yay! Here's the deal. Comedy is best performed in a dark place with a brick wall and a low ceiling where you're all forcibly crammed in very near one another. And I would like you to simulate that for me by all moving forward. Just come forward. Come forward. I can see you not moving. That's how real life works, my friends. This is streaming somewhere else, but not here. I just want you to come. I want you to know your neighbors. I want you to shake somebody's hand, introduce one another, clump together like a comedy club sat you where you didn't want to be set. It's what's going to happen to make this a better experience for all of us. It's some weird... Yeah, look at them making it darker. Huh? Yeah! This is how change happens. You guys did great. This is good. You're all doing your best, and I'm very proud of you right now. This is so fun. Yay. Oh, and look, there's me over there. Well, I'm technically over there. Like, I'm pointing. You guys get it. You understand how things work. Hey, how's everyone's Emerald City Comicon going? Yeah? We're having a good day so far. It's been good. Welcome to the Komedio Comedy Stand-Up Showcase, you guys. Yay! Okay. So here's the deal. I like to warm you guys up properly. Thank you all for moving forward. I appreciate it. You are seen and respected. What I like to do is get everybody in the mood for comedy when we start, and I teach you how to be excited. That's what I like to do at the beginning. My name is Wonder Dave, everyone. That's a thing I can tell you right now. My name is Wonder Dave. Komedio Comedy is a group of nerds that do stand-up, and we are based out of San Francisco, California. Yeah! We came here to Seattle, which is like San Francisco, but with more rain. It's fun, but it's beautiful today, so yay. Here's what I'm going to do, though, to start this show off properly. I'm going to teach you guys how to be excited, and I'm just going to walk you through it. We're going to start at 0, and then we're going to go all the way up to 10, and I'm going to move. It's going to be a linear progression. You guys understand linear progressions, right? Okay. So first, we are going to start at 0. That is our resting public transportation face, right? We're all familiar. I'm using PG-13 language right now. You all know what I meant. So good. Good. I see it. You're doing it. 0. You nailed it. Congratulations. Then we're going to go to 1. We're going to go to 1. What is that happening? Well, was it intentional? I'll riff. I'm not mad at it. Then we're good. I'm just saying, like, I'll riff with you tech people. I respect you. Give it up for your techs, by the way. Working hard. Making this happen, probably having to run around all day and put out fires. All right, so we did 0, right? We're going to go to 1. 1 is like a gentle patter of rain, a gentle patter of rain. Then we go to 2. 2 is a nice golf clap. We're building, sir. We don't ever stop because I can see all of you, so we're just going to keep it going. And then we're going to go to 3, and 3 is louder than 2 because that is how numbers work, my friends. That's what it goes to. Then we go to 4. 4 is like the applause we give at a children's recital because we want children to grow up to be happy and healthy people, and we want them to know what it is to be loved and respected. And then we go to 5, and at 5 we're like the fun drunk aunt at the children's recital. Yeah, like we don't have kids, but we're supportive and tipsy. It's a cool time. And then we go to 6. We go to 6, and 6 is like cats on the internet level of excitement. That's where we're at 6, right? Like we're feeling very good at 6. And then we go to 7, and 7 is like an exciting movie that we want to see, perhaps an interesting sport, like that's not golf. I don't know what you get excited at a 7 for. And then we go to an 8, and let's be honest, you're going to bang an 8. You see someone, you think they're an 8, you're going to do it. That's what you're going to do. Don't lie about who you are. At a 9, you are more than a drunk aunt. You're just a fun person at 9. You're just having a great time. And then we bring it up all the way to a 10! Oh my gosh, you guys did it! You're so good! Okay, so please bring it up to a 10 for your first comedian today. Bring it up to a 10. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Give it up for Wonder Dave! It's me! I'm your first comedian! Thank you. I would like to start off my set with an impression. Here it goes. That was me, but if I was on fire. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I'm excited to be here in Seattle. I get to travel a whole bunch for comedy, and I travel to places that are less fun than Seattle sometimes. I was recently on tour in the South. It was exciting for me, and I pulled over. I was in North Carolina. Do not let the word North fool you. Still the South. And I pulled over, there was a sign that said gas and pecan pie, and I was like, I want both of those things. And I went into I gassed up my car, went in to purchase my pie, and I walked into what can only be described as a literal explosion of Confederate flags! Just hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, that sequin dress Rupaul wore. Some of you know, listen, I'm going to stop and educate you for a moment. Rupaul, world's most famous drag queen, once wore a sequined Confederate flag dress. It was an important moment in history. Get it together, straights. You should know about it. We're going to pause. We're going to pause this me telling this story. We're going to talk about Rupaul, because that's what you came to Comic-Con for. Listen, Rupaul is the world's most famous drag queen. Statuesque blonde woman, amazing. Rupaul is such a famous drag queen that there are Rupaul impersonators. Like, what? One of them has gotten pretty famous. Perhaps you have heard of her. Her name is Beyonce. Oh! I started a fight in a gay bar with that joke once. It's the best. Back to the Confederate flag emporium. So I was hanging out, and it was your standard fare, things you would expect to see with Confederate flags on them. But there was one item that will haunt me until I die. It was a Confederate flag that had been stretched out across a dream catcher. Who is that for? What does it do? Does it stop your racist thoughts and your gay dreams? Like, is there a man in the hills of Carolina who's gonna see that and be like, never again will I dream of a hard-bodied young black man, his sweat glistening in the sun, not with my Confederate flag dream catcher safe at last! And he's finally safe. I don't know. How did I end up like this is what you're wondering right now. Here's my secret origin story, you guys. I had a cool mom. That's it! That's all it took to make me be a cosplaying stand-up comedian. My mom was very cool, and I was a nerdy little child. My mom tended bar and rode motorcycles, and I read books. And my parents kept trying to get me to do sports when I was little. They kept pitching them to me. They're like, go outside. And at first they were like, basketball, you're tall. And I was like, no. And then they were like, wrestling, you watch that on TV. And I was like, that has plot lines. I just don't get it. And then finally, one day, my parents, they came to me with an activity that I am still pretty good at. To this day, they came home and were like, what about archery? And little nerdy me was like, yes, the sport of the elves. That's the one for me. So I've got one good apocalypse skill, you guys. Yay me. I'm thrilled. Because the apocalypse is nigh, right? We're all aware it's coming for us any moment. I have decided how I'm going to survive the apocalypse. And because we live in capitalism, you have to have a job no matter what happens. So in the apocalypse, there are 4 key positions. I'm taking one of them. You can fight over the other 3. I have decided to be a horseman of the apocalypse, everyone. Yay! Thank you. I'm going to be Pestilence because I have spread disease on accident before. Bam! I don't cover my mouth when I cough. This is a PG-13 show. No. So I told that joke in front of a friend of mine who is smarter than me. And she's like, Dave, Pestilence is not a horseman of the apocalypse in the Bible. And I looked it up. She's right. And I was like, why did I think Pestilence was a horseman of the apocalypse? And I figured it out because Pestilence, not a biblical horseman of the apocalypse, but is a horseman of the apocalypse in the comic book, The Uncanny X-Men. And I paid way more attention to one of those canons. Listen, was the important one. So, I don't know, final thoughts before I leave. I don't know. Oh, yeah, let's talk about how you can tell if someone's really a nerd. That's important, because it's hard, because we won, guys. I don't know if you know that. All the movies are superheroes now. We did it. We won. All the television shows are Star Wars. We're doing great. And so this is how you tell if someone's really nerdy, though. You wait for them to get incredibly upset about something that does not matter. That's it. For instance, the other day, I was at home watching an animated feature-length Scooby-Doo cartoon because I am a Hufflepuff. And in this cartoon, I got very upset because monsters were real! That's not okay! And I had to think about why I was so upset about it, and I realized it's because if, within the Scooby-Doo universe, a phrase I hope you never hear again, monsters are real, that means the rational people on the show are the stoner and his dog! I don't want to live in that world, you guys. I want to trust the nerdy lesbian in sensible shoes. Velma's a lesbian. If you're not on board, get on board. It's just true. All right, I'll leave you guys with my one political joke, because then I can run off stage. It's very fun. Our vice president, his name is Mike Pence. Perhaps you have heard of him. He thinks that you can electroshock the gay away. I know he thinks it because he said it with his mouth. Little does he know, I'm into that. Thank you guys so much. I have been Wonder Dave. We have more comedians coming for you. This next performer has performed at Gen Con, Silicon Valley Comic Con, a whole bunch of other crazy nerdy places. Please welcome to the stage the very funny Stephen Koo!
Hey guys, is anyone here a fan of Star Wars? Yeah? Yeah? Great, cool. I want to share a story with you guys. A while back, I had some friends who wanted me to get into the Star Wars tabletop role-playing game. So it's like Dungeons & Dragons, but it's in the Star Wars universe. You make up your own character. I want to share my character with you guys, if that's cool. Yeah? Cool. So my character was an exile from the Jedi community, okay? Because his ideas were too radical. You guys remember in the prequels where Darth Maul had the double-sided lightsaber? And General Grievous had like the 4 lightsabers going on? So my guy had 2 5-sided lightsabers. The lightsaber goes up, down, left, right, and forward. And then on the end of his shoes, he had a lightsaber. And then he had knee pads that were lightsabers. And then he had a skirt that was all lightsabers in every direction. And then he had a backpack that was all lightsabers. And then he had a headband that gave him a unicorn lightsaber horn. And his fighting style was he just kind of wiggled slowly towards you and you couldn't shoot him. So they didn't let me play. I am a huge fan of Star Wars, though. Something that I think about a lot, like way too much, is I think about Darth Vader, and he had this really cool entrance in A New Hope. He does this thing where he cuts down the door, walks up, grabs this dude by the throat, and asks, "Where are the rebel plans?" And the rebel trooper knows he's a goner, so he says, "I'm not telling you," and then Vader just chokes him out. And the entire time I'm seeing that scene, I keep thinking, man, if I was that rebel trooper, shoot, just push every button you can on his chest and see what happens. That's the one question I still want them to answer in the Star Wars universe and still haven't gotten around to it. I'm into comic books. I'm really into comics. I've always wanted I want to get to a part of my career where I can be confident enough and get hired by DC. And then I want to write one comic, just one issue. I want to write an issue for Vibe. Do you guys know Vibe? I'm seeing some confused faces. Vibe was a character created by DC Comics in the 70s when they were like, we need cooler characters, and we need to introduce more minorities into the team. So they created Vibe, who's a Latino superhero whose power is he can turn music into earthquakes, and he breakdances. That's it. It was not written well, but I want to bring him back. I want to write one issue, and this is how the issue would go. Old lady's getting mugged by some robber. Vibe comes in, decks the dude. Then, for the next 22 pages, it's panel-by-panel shot of Vibe just popping and locking. Just so some artist has to draw it for 20 pages, oh my God. And then on the very last page, someone's gonna be like, Vibe, that building's on fire. And he's gonna be like, nothing I can do about that. that. I found out something recently that's been bumming me out when it comes to comic books. The FBI put out a survey, or released the stats on the average takeaway from bank robberies. Do you guys know what the average takeaway for a bank robbery is? 10 to 15 years? No, because people are getting away with it, but they're also only getting away with $4,000 on average per bank robbery, which is half a MacBook. Which makes every bank robbery in Gotham City hilarious to me. Because I like to imagine, like, Riddler has a meeting. He's like, all right, guys, got some bad news to break to you. First off, you guys are going to have to start bringing in your own lunches. I can't afford to pay for a pizza every time we're playing a heist. Second off, we had to let Todd go. He was our lookout guy, so maybe don't mess up the next bank robbery. And lastly, I know you guys were really excited about joining the Riddler's crew and the riddles, but the riddles are too expensive. We're going to have to stop the riddles. I know you guys are disappointed, but listen, we can still have a theme, okay? What do? We rob banks, right? So from now on, you can call me the Robbler. Are you guys a fan of the CW? Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the CW. At first, I thought I was just into like the superhero stuff from the CW, but now I find I'm getting like really into Riverdale. And Riverdale's just like the grim, gritty, dark version of the Archie comics. But like every episode of Riverdale, I'm watching like, oh snap. But I'm really into The Flash. Have you guys seen The Flash? Yeah. I was really into The Flash until I realized that every episode's ending the same way. See, The Flash's power is that he runs super fast. And every episode, he just beats the bad guy by running faster than he's ever run before. For example, he fights the weather wizard who can make tornadoes, and Flash beats him by running really fast and punching him. Then he fights this guy who can turn to pure metal, and when Flash tries punching him, he breaks his hand. Flash beats him by running extra fast and punching him. Then Flash fights a guy who can freeze time, and Flash beats him by running really fast, skipping, and punching him. And every episode, Flash doesn't figure this out. He's got these friends who are super nerdy, and they work at Star Labs, and the entire time, they're just doing math the whole episode, and they're like, have you tried running faster? I'll end you on this thought. I'm really into X-Men comics. You guys fans of X-Men? Yeah? Okay, here's something that I like to think about. Cyclops was like my favorite mutant. I was a huge fan of Cyclops. I did get really frustrated at him when I was a kid, though. Why does Cyclops miss? His power is laser vision, basically, and when I was a kid, every time he was chasing someone with his beam, I'd be like, look faster! Look at him! I used to have an action figure from the X-Men. I used to have a Professor X action figure. If you don't follow the comics, Professor X's power is that he can read your mind. So all the action figure does is sit there and frown at you. But the toy makers realized this too, so they tried to jazz it up. They tried to give Professor X a cool action figure. So this is a real action figure, and this is what it does. It's Professor X, and in his gold wheelchair, he has a secret panel. And inside that panel is a gun. It's not a psychic gun or a mind gun, it's a handgun. And you know who handguns don't work against? Most of the people the X-Men fight. You know who handguns do work really well against is actually most of the X-Men. So every time I'm like watching something X-Men, I'm like, this is it. This is the issue where Professor X gets tired of Cyclops missing. All right, my name is Steven. Thank you so much.
Hey, what up? So there's a flyer on some of your seats that says it's for a show called Nerd Rage: The Great Debates. It is tomorrow night at the Rendezvous. Use the code Emerald City if you purchase tickets online, and you get half off tickets. So it's only $5. Come see us yell about nerdy things tomorrow. We're very funny people, I promise. And we're going to continue proving it to you with this stand-up show. Please welcome all the way to the stage. Give it up for Tiramari Jyothi!
Hello, everyone. Oh, that's fun. This is like one of those like Sears pictures where I'm like smiling in the middle distance and there's like a blown up version right behind me. Cool. Well, anyway, I'm happy to be here. I love doing shows at Komedio. you might have been able to notice that we do these shows in cosplay. You might have also noticed that I'm bad at it. I just don't have a lot of experience. I was really nervous about doing cosplay with Komedio because, it's a very specific reason, because every year as a kid, during Halloween, I'd get into my costume, I'd be super pumped, go to school, get ready to flex on these fools, and what would happen is that I'd be like, hey, what's up, guys? And they'd be like, oh, cool, Indian Red Ranger. No, just Red Ranger. Why did you have to? Also, I'm wearing a mask and gloves. You can't even tell that I'm brown. It doesn't. So that's what I thought would happen when I started doing cosplay with these shows. And actually, one of our very first shows at San Francisco Comic-Con, where you'd expect it, Oakland, I was walking through Artist Alley, and I was dressed as a character named Dipper Pines from a show called Gravity Falls. Yeah? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Dipper Pines is a little white boy who's into the occult because all white children are into the occult for some reason. So I was walking around, and out of the corner of my eye, I see two kids notice me, and they get really excited. And in my head, I'm like, man, these two children are going to call me Indian Dipper. That's what's going to happen. Two little kids are going to yell Indian Dipper right at my face. So the first one gets his friend's attention, and he's like, dude, check it out. It's Old Dipper. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that he's not wrong, I've realized recently. I've learned this past year that I'm now an old nerd. You know, I'm still a nerd. I still consume the same nerdy stuff, but I'm an old person about it. Like, I don't know, like nowadays I'll read my favorite comic book and the characters will find some treasure. And my first thought nowadays is like, oh, good luck declaring that on your taxes. Or like I'm watching an anime and a girl in a bikini shows up and I'm like, but that's somebody's fictional daughter. Where are her fictional parents? You know, like when I was younger, I'd be reading a comic book and I'd be like, you gotta get that scroll, Naruto, you need a stronger special attack. And now that I'm older, I'm like, you gotta be a better father to your son, Naruto. You need a stronger relationship with him. My leaves are falling off. Yeah, I made these this morning while waiting for my Uber. Just a lot of work went into these. I don't know. I mean, I've always been like a weird, analytical little nerdy kid. You know that kid in class that was like, I know the answer. That's me. That was me. I'll admit it. And if you didn't laugh at that joke, that was also you. We're at Emerald City Comicon. Let's be honest with ourselves, okay? I'll give you an example of how I was when I was a kid. You guys ever watch a show called Captain Planet? Yeah, it's a great show. It's about like an environmental superhero, and there's a bunch of teenagers with rings, and they put the rings together, and then he comes to life. It was the 80s, and Captain Planet was a cool dude. It was a great show. I remember one episode when I was a kid where they introduced his like eternal rival, Captain Pollution. The opposite of planet is pollution, and Captain Pollution had his own set of bad guys with their own like evil power rings, and they were like announcing them on the show. This first guy was like, I have a ring of deforestation. It's like, oh, word, you have an axe? What is that? What does that do? Second guy was like, I have a ring of ocean pollution. That's just pollution in the ocean. You're not innovating here. Third guy was like, I have a ring of nuclear waste. And even as a kid, I was like, gonna stop you right there. That's the only one you need. What? Are you kidding me? A ring of nuclear waste? See, what they should have done is they should have sent this guy. By the way, his name was Duke Nukem. You can Google it. Should have sent good old Duke over to fight the Planeteers. Planeteers would have been like, screw you, Duke Nukem. Here's like a giant firestorm and like an earthquake and a tsunami. Now that I think about it, Planeteers didn't really care about the environment either. Destroyed a lot of nature. But yeah, they should have said that, and they would have been like really ready to go, and then Duke would have been like, oh, whoa, that's pretty scary. But here's a fun fact, check it. All of you have cancer now. They would have been like, oh, what? Which ones? And he's like, wait, all of them. I have a ring of nuclear waste. What? Expecting restraint or something? You might be thinking right now, like, oh, wow, Tiramara, you must have been a really fun kid at parties. Well, joke's on you. I never got invited. So it's fine. Now that I'm an adult, people do invite me to parties, and then I just don't go. So it's the same thing. I'm just a socially awkward person. I can barely make eye contact with myself in the mirror. You're probably thinking like, oh, you're making eye contact with me right now. It's an act. This is a performance. This is deliberate. And see, he looked away. Oh, yeah. That can happen. So I've realized, though, recently my social awkwardness has an obstacle that I didn't anticipate. It's basically just when I'm at the airport, because I'm an Indian guy with a beard. And there's this real TSA policy called a chat down. Show of hands, leaves, show of leaves. Who here knows what a chat down is? Yeah, because none of you look like me. It's a real thing. You can Google it along with Duke Nukem. It's this thing that TSA does where they encourage their agents to make small talk with you when they think you're a terrorist. I don't even know how that's supposed to work. I think they're hoping that the guy's going to be like, are you traveling for business or pleasure? And the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go blow up a plane. They're like, aha! Small talk saves America. I can't do that. So what I do when I go to the airport is that I wear a nerdy T-shirt. I'm not wearing one right now because I am dressed as Piranha Plant. So, but you can probably trust me that I have a lot of video game characters, comic book covers, that kind of stuff. So I wear one of those, and then I stand in line, and the TSA agent goes, nice shirt. And I go, thanks. If you just Cable, he's yet around the son. Scott Summers might know him as Cyclops from the X-Men. That's not really important. He was married to Jean Grey, also became the Dark Phoenix. There's a movie coming about. That's not really important either. The thing is that Cable's from the future, and he's infected with a technovirus that's slowly killing him. He's taking care of this little girl named Hope because he's the literal hope of mutant kind. And also, he's really good friends with Deadpool. You might see him in the recent movie. And now that I think about it, Cable kind of looks like Duke Nukem from the video games. And now that I really think about it, Cable kind of looks like Duke Nukem from Captain Planet. Funny story about Duke Nukem from Captain Planet. And they go, shut up and get on the plane, dude. What are you doing? And that way, I get to keep my shampoo, so it all works out. Thank you, everybody. I'm Tiramari.
Tiramari Jyothi, cosplay. He tried. I'm wearing my easiest cosplay right now. I have no room to stand on. Actually, let's do let's do a raffle. Do you have the raffle box? Is it time for a raffle? What happened? Nope, never mind. Russell, bring me that. Give it up for Russell, everyone. She's gonna bring me a raffle box. It's gonna happen. I should probably have just said we could do it after this next comedian, so this awkward time thing didn't happen. But now we're all in this together. That's what's going on. What did everyone come to the con to see? Shout it out now. Rupert Grint. Oh, fun. Us! Yay! We also came to the con to see us. We're very what's vain? That's the word I was looking for. Oh, that one wins. It just fell out. That's the first one. That's how I know you're a winner. Hey, Chris Dreyer. Chris Dreyer, are you around? Chris, come on up. Stephen Koo you can get like a Komedio dice and one of these lovely prizes. There's like some Batman trading cards. There's a Oh, yeah. Batman Returns or Batman Forever trading cards. How does one choose? He chose Batman Forever. Yes. And then you get a free die. You get a fun Komedio die. The Komedio logo is the 6, because that's how we wanted it. That's it. All right. Yay. There will be more winners later, I promise. Here's what's going to happen right now, though. Our next performer is a Komedio All-Star. She's performed at SF Sketchfest and a whole bunch of other places. Please give it up for Christy Ono!
Hello, hi, how are we all doing? Good, okay, so I just want to explain, this costume was made for Gen Con, which is Indiana in the summer, and I realize where I am now, which is not that. It is cold, but I am fine, thank you. I got into cosplay a little bit late in life, too, in my 30s, don't worry about it. And it's just been a real fun time, because this is what I get to show my mom. I went to Seattle to do this. My biggest aspiration with cosplay is to meld my 2 favorite franchises together, which is Star Wars and Star Trek, right, into some beautiful mashup that is also a commentary on women's representation in sci-fi and fantasy. How about that? Do you want to hear what it is? Yeah, of course you do. So I'm going to take Slave Leia and the Borg Queen. I'm going to put them together, and they're going to be Queen Leia Borgana. Right? Pretty good. I'm also probably not going to do it, because you either have to do it first or the best, and I'm frankly not going to do either. Yeah, so we doing good? Do you guys want to talk about the apocalypse a little bit? Just wondered they brought it up. I feel like it's fair game. Do you guys have a go bags? Because I feel like the end is upon us, right? Anyone ready for this? Preppers, are you out there? One dude in the back. Hell yeah. Oh. Are there children? That's okay. Anyway, I have an apocalypse strategy. I think it's really great. My first apocalypse strategy, of course, was to just kill myself. I was not into life on normal. I was not going to be into survival mode. You know what I mean? Okay. But I have since rethought it, right? I have now decided to live. Yeah, that's real exciting. I've decided to live just long enough to eat another human being. I'm gonna bucket list that, friends. How exciting. I thought about that a little bit more. I'm like, is that the only way you're gonna cook for yourself? That's weird. But anyway, as soon as I eat the other person, I'm going to slip my wrists in a bathtub of marinade to give back to the community that was so generous to me, right? It's exciting, thinking about the future, just very short term. Let's see. So I consider myself a little old-fashioned, right? I subscribe to the philosophy that the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Yeah, have you heard that old adage? Yeah, do you guys believe it? I think it's pretty spot on, right? Because you go through the stomach, go up, pull out and down, and that's how you get the heart. There's no direct path. There's a breastplate. Yeah, and that works for anybody. Like, it's man in the universal sense. All right. I also believe that behind every great man is a great woman, using him as a human shield. Yeah, protect yourselves, ladies. We're going to do it. I also think I've come up with the best response to catcalling. You guys want to hear about this? This is a real fun one. So you're walking down the street and you hear butts or whatever. I don't know. I wear headphones. But then you respond with, everyone's beautiful in the eyes of God. And then I promise you, everyone within earshot will never speak to you again. What a fun time. That's enormous. That's fine. I am also well aware that my thighs are eating my shorts because I'm a big, delicious lady. Yeah, that's where I'm in my life. I like to call it mighty, yeah, instead of fat. Because I am reframing weight gain, everybody, which is just what I thought you did as an adult. Right? You just gently expand like the universe. It's science. It's stuff's real. I also did this thing where I ate 100 burritos in 100 days once. Yeah, I am the hero you deserve. And at that time, I got super into the body positive movement because I realized the miraculous things that could happen to your body when you truly love yourself. I have also been growing as a person, and no one seems to care about that. Yeah, like my body is heavier, but my spirit is so light. I've decided at the mightiest, yeah, it's funny, I'm great. At the mightiest I've been in my life, I thought this is a great time to start dating. Like, what a good time, right? It's 50% more of me at no additional cost to you. What a bargain. What a good deal. I've decided not to do Tinder, right? I don't like the idea of anyone rubbing their thumb either which way on my face. I know what's in a phone. I just don't like the energy that it sends out. I have, instead, decided to go back to OkCupid. Yeah, but this time I have a strategy. I am going to style my profile after a Dungeons & Dragons character sheet, everyone. Yeah, heck yes. So excited. I'm just going to lay out everything at once, right? You get to pick a weapons cache, I don't know, I've only seen it written. Real excited about my character alignment, right? I'm going to be chaotic neutral, because you're not going to know if I'm good or bad, and I'm just going to be wildly inconsistent the whole time. Real excited about having skill checks or defense die on a first date, right? Come on, that cannot be a deep cut here. Anyway, I've actually never played D&D in my whole life. Yeah, because that would involve talking to boys. Ew, gross. Yeah, let's see. How many? No, I'm not going to do something dirty. I'm actually just going to get out of here. It's been a great time. Please come to Nerd Rage where we will swear, do curse words, F-bombs all over the place. It's going to be tomorrow. Have a good con. Thanks.
that's Nerd Rage at the Rendezvous. Please come. Listen, it's very fun. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to raffle off another prize, and it's over here. You got it? Steven's going to draw another name. Steven, they can't tell what you are because you aren't wearing your mask. You should show everyone your costume. It's important. Yeah. See? Look at it. Look at Steven's costume. I like you better that way. Our group cosplay is called the Wario Party, by the way. We're all Mario villains. And Armando Mortez? Am I saying it right? Armando is wearing a Batman shirt, which is appropriate considering most of our prizes are Batman themed. You can also have the cube. That's also an option. Yeah, and you get a dice or a button with my face on it. If you don't get a prize and you want some dice, I don't know, throw literally any amount of money at us and I'll give you dice. I don't care. You can be like, here's some change. Or $1. What? I don't care. Yay! Armando wins a prize! It's what's happening right now. All right. This next comedian is the host of Nerd Rage, The Great Debates, which is the podcast we produce. You should subscribe to it. You have to type out Nerd Rage, The Great Debates, because there are some other podcasts with the word Nerd Rage in them that don't really do anything anymore, but come up maybe first sometimes, because our search engine optimization could be better. We're fun people, trust me. Nerd Rage, The Great Debates. This guy is the moderator for Nerd Rage, The Great Debates, where we yell about fun things like Captain Marvel versus Captain Marvel, or whatever. Our live shows are super fun. The first one we ever did, so we had to debate becoming a Pokemon master versus having a real job. And I was on the team Have a Real Job, and I won, and it is one of the proudest moments of my life. This is an uphill battle. Please welcome to the stage my brother in arms. Give it up for Mark Abrigo!
Everybody give it up for Wonder Dave. So funny. So funny. I'm so glad to be here, you guys. I love conventions. I love the cosplaying element. Do we have people in cosplay right now? We got some folks. Who are you guys dressed up as? Padme. Oh, I heard gasps. All right. No, I love cosplay. I love how people can express themselves. Tiramari mentioned this not too long ago, but last year at San Francisco Comicon, that took place in Oakland, we went, and I saw a gentleman, it caught my eye. I have to talk about this. There was a gentleman, blonde hair, blue eyes, so white that I walked next to him and my credit score went up, dressed up as Black Panther. See? Why do we do that, right? No one else, why would we have that reaction? And I thought to myself, look, I'm never going to tell anybody that they can't dress up as a character that they enjoy. So I went up to him. I just said, hey, man, cool costume. Right down from where the fictional Wakandan embassy would be. But cool costume. Why are you T'Challa? He looks at me, and he's mortified. He said, no, dude, I'm not T'Challa. I'm T'Challa's stepbrother, T'Chad. And I was like, nice, dude. Very nice. Let's get a little topical here. This is a new one. We'll see if this one works. Captain Marvel, who's seen it? Did you guys like it? Yeah, it's good. Okay, thank you. Because if you haven't been paying attention to the news, there's this whole brigade of nerds who are out there who don't like the fact that it's just a Marvel movie starring a woman. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, but they're actively campaigning against it, so much so that they've even come up with a really dumb nickname for the movie. They've called it Captain Menstrual, which technically, while not clever, is also not wrong, because it is a period piece. You know what I'm saying? What? I got laughs and groans. I'll take it. All right. Oh, boy. Let's see. We talked about a lot of things that we are nerdy about. As you could probably tell, we're all just a bunch of geeks, and I love performing in front of geeks, and this is why I'm comfortable enough to tell you guys what I'm the most geeky about, and that is boy bands. Not a joke. Here's how you know I'm serious. Last May, this guy was on the Backstreet Boys cruise. which is exactly what it sounds like, for the record. Here's the kicker, it was my third. So, I can't help it, man. I can't help it. I love singing. I love synchronized dancing, you know? When people take pictures of me, my pose is this, just straight up, you know? It's funny, I've loved boy bands forever, and as you can imagine, like loving boy bands when you're 12 or 13, even up till now, I'm 34, and you know, people still like, is Mark gay? Just a smidgen, you guys, and I know that because I use words like smidgen. Oh boy, I'm so deep in the closet, I'm in Narnia right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just sitting there braiding like Aslan's mane, Prince Caspian, diva, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not gay, ladies and gentlemen. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. I'm not gay, I'm just terminally unsexy. It's a real condition. I'm terminally unsexy, and the reason for that is this cherubic Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks look that I got going. And you're nodding. I love that for the You're looking at me like, did all three of the chipmunks get into that machine from The Fly? Because I think that's what happens. I think. I get it. I kind of look like a Cabbage Patch Kid with a tan. Or like Cambodian Millhouse. I don't know. It's strange because, like, I feel like during the creation process, God up there was like, hey, check it out. Look what I did to this kid. All right, he's got a face of a baby, the hands of a woman, the voice of a white dude, and the game of an even whiter dude. He's like neck and neck with a platypus. It's crazy. I don't know. But I can't help it. No game. I didn't have a whole lot of confidence growing up. I grew up as a fat kid. Any former fat kids, current fat kids in denial, right? We're here. Send us out on like a 1,000,000-pound march. Walk down the block. Maybe there's an Arby's down there. I don't know. But I grew up as a fat kid, and I was serious. We're talking fat with 2 T's. Like, I was one of those kids that would get winded on escalators. You know what I mean? Like, when I was born, I wasn't weighed in pounds, but in euros, you know? Your groans give me life, so keep groaning, it's fine. Here's a true story. My first day of kindergarten, I was very excited. I was an only child growing up, so I didn't have a whole lot of friends. So naturally, I go out into the playground, and I see all these kids playing, just enjoying themselves, and I'm thinking, ooh, friends, here we go. And from the very back of the playground, I hear somebody shout, everybody run, it's the big fat monster. Thank you. Because that hurts, you know? Because as a 5-year-old, a sensitive one at that, you don't want to hear that from a teacher. You know, it's just really, it's unfortunate. We talked about the X-Men. Can we give some Avengers some love real quick? Yeah? All right. My favorite Avenger is Hawkeye. I'm just going to say that out now. I love, any Hawkeye fans in here? Thank you. Cool, my peoples. Here we go. This joke's for you. I love Hawkeye, but I don't like how cocky he is. And here's what I mean. This is a guy who's so ingenious, he has every arrow imaginable, only brings one of each type whenever he goes out. So let's say Avengers Tower is on fire. Oh, there's his water arrow, and that's it. All right, well. And Steve is like, hey, Clint, did you only bring one water arrow? And Hawkeye's like, I don't know, Steve, did you bring a water shield? I didn't think so. Now, if somebody's emergency was, oh man, I need a real quick glass of Ovaltine, that water arrow would be really helpful. No one drinks Ovaltine. All right, that's cool. I love Hawkeye's creativity. He has a bunch of different arrow types. I think that's really cool. Shows how quick thinking and adaptive he is. He's got like his EMP arrows, his sonic arrows. But my favorite arrow is an arrow that he shoots, and when he fires it, it actually splits off into 15 other arrows, and he calls it his quinceañero. I told you. They were gonna clap. I haven't seen a single Latino here all day. We got a quinceañero joke out of this. All right, cool. You guys are fun, man. All right, we've talked a lot about, you know, Star Wars, CW. Did we do any Harry Potter jokes? No? Okay, cool, we got a Harry. let's talk video games. Any video game fans in here? Cool. What's your favorite game, miss? Zelda series. I'm glad you called it the Zelda series, because Link's always on that, but it's Zelda who runs it. Let's be honest, right? A game came out not too long ago, and before I actually mention the game, I'm going to preface this by saying this. I'm not a very religious guy, and I found out that the only time I take a religion seriously, or when I think it's cool, is when it's used as the basis of a video game. Here's what I mean. A game came out a long time ago for the old PlayStation. It was called God of War. Any fans of the God of War series here? Perfect. For the uninitiated, the God of War series is about a Spartan warrior by the name of Kratos, who is tricked by the God of War himself, Ares, into killing his own family. So naturally, Kratos gets mad. He wants to kill Ares, and he does it. But he doesn't stop there. The trilogy continues because he goes on to murder every other god on Mount Olympus. Kills every single one of them. God of War 3, done. Greek gods, done. And so ends the series. Or so we thought. Because last year, God of War was rebooted, came out, looks like Kratos has had a kid, has moved up to Sweden, and now he's killing Norse gods, you guys. I don't know if Thor stepped on his Jordans or like Odin cut him off in traffic, but he's just pissed, and he is killing everyone now. And not to spoiler alert anything, but halfway through the game, Kratos finds these relics from another land with another religion, where these gods have the heads of a jackal or an eagle. And I realize he's going to kill Egyptian gods now. At some point after this Norse god trilogy is done, he's going to start killing Egyptian gods. And then I started thinking, well, let's extrapolate here. Then I realized somewhere around 2025, we're going to see a trailer. And it's going to be Kratos heading to Jerusalem. I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing. I know that sounds crazy. They would never do that in America. He's not going to kill Jesus. He's not. But Jesus is going to be a fun NPC. He'll be giving you cool missions, you know? He'll be doing all that cool stuff. If anything, he'll be like, oh, we have to save this kid. And Kratos is like, yes, boy. And they go and save this kid. And then they're like, kid, what is your name? And the kid looks at him and goes, Judas? Oh, what? Can you imagine the drama from there? But I can tell you this. It's going to be the most boring God of War game you'll ever see, because a lot of the games have to do with the mythology of the religion that the game is based off of. I don't imagine that this game is going to be very exciting, because I can only imagine maybe Steven coming up to me and saying, hey, Mark, how's the new God of War game? And I'm like, I don't know. I've spent the last 6 hours passing out bread and fish, bro. Not very exciting. Well, how's the combat? I don't know, man. Everybody starts hitting you, and all you can do is press X to turn the other cheek. Not exciting at all. Well, can you die? Yeah, here's the worst part. When you do die, you have to wait 3 days before you can play the game again. All right, everybody. That's going to be it for me. Thank you so much. Bring up one to Dave. Come see us, Nerd Rage, the great debates at the Rendezvous. Here you go.
Yes, indeed. Steven's going to come. Oh, nope, Steven's not coming over. I thought he was going to come over and draw another raffle name. So we're going to draw one more raffle name. I and some of the people you saw today will be in room 3B on Sunday for Literary Pop, which is a show where we talk about it's like stories, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a love letter to pop culture, where we do like stories, essays, poems. Some of them are funny. Some of them are tragic and sad. Who doesn't love being tragic and sad? All of us do, deep inside. William Ho. William, come on up and select your prize. Looks like you have your choice of these Batman cards or this fun cube, and then you get a dice, friends. If you do not have a flyer for the show we're doing at the Rendezvous, please come grab one. I've got some up here. Come subscribe to our podcast. I don't know. The Beautiful World. Steven, is there anything else I need to mention right now? No. We love you. Thank you all so much. This has been Komedio Comedy Stand-Up Showcase. Enjoy the rest of your con, friends. Feel free to talk to us. If you see us around the con, say hey. We'll see you guys soon.